Alright, in this section I'm going to go ahead and show you how I edit the textures to go ahead and create characters for Daz Studio. In this case I'm going to be making Mickey from Halo 3 ODST, or his name is Michael Crespo in the game. So, I have his head wrap that I made using the 3D wrapping program. So I have the texture extracted, and I have the base I'm going to use for the bottom. This is mostly just a mix of skins, but it's mostly Call of Duty. Now this one over here is the original textures you get from G8M Mail. You can find these if you open up Daz, load up a G8 Basic Mail, click on G8 Mail, go to Surfaces, click on one of the body parts like ears, hit this button and go to Browse, and it'll open up the folder where you can find the saved data for it. You're going to need the diffuses, and you're going to need the this gray one, this dark one, this gray one, and this dark one. So these will be your diffuses, the color ones. The dark one over here, the light one over here, and the dark one will be detail maps that will show how the light reflects off of the skin. So I have created some clean versions right here already, but I'll use those at a different time. Go ahead and save these in a work folder that you can use for your new character. Once you have them, you can go ahead and drag them into like paint.net for me. So I've already done that, and I usually work in quads, so it's easier. So if I want to change anything on like a hue, it'll change it for all skins, and I won't have a seam line because they have different variation of skin color because I chose to edit them separately. So to create this, all I did was I start with the head, I do Control-Shift-R to do canvas size, I take off maintain aspect ratio, I change the height to 8192, I keep the anchor at the bottom right and hit OK. And then I go to my torso, Control-A, Control-C, go back to my head and put Control-V to paste it. And then I use Control-Shift-R to expand the width to 8192 as well. Then I go ahead and go to the legs, same exact thing, Control-Shift-R, then I hit Tab to go to height, 8192, hit Enter, arms, Control-A, Control-C, legs, Control-V, Control-A to select it all, Control-C to copy. Then I go over to this, and I hit Control-V, and now I have my quads I can edit. If you want to get rid of the black alpha in the back, all you gotta do is use a magic tool, set to like 0, or maybe let's say 21, and select all the black parts. Of course, you can do it quickly. Just grab what you can. Don't mind if you leave some behind. There's nothing wrong with that. Just something you can get rid of later. I just do it for peace of mind. Once you do that, you go ahead and delete it, and now it's gone. And now you have your perfect template to work on. Then you would hit Control-A, Control-C, go over to your guy over here, hit plus sign, drag below, hit Control-V, and you'll see that if you hide this, you can go ahead and just simply hit this to hit the empty space, hit that, and hit this part, go back to Michael, I can hit delete. It will isolate it, then I can go ahead and I get rid of the excess parts of it manually. Now I already know I'm going to get rid of most of this texture anyway, because as you could probably notice, this game was made in 2009. So the shadows are built into the texture, which will be horrible when you actually try to render it in Daz. So I'm going to go ahead and delete most of the skin. I'm going to get rid of the ears, because I already know I'm going to get rid of those. I'm going to go over here, use my lasso tool, get right underneath it, right there, go and delete. Same thing with the eyes, delete. Oh, these are actually eye sockets, sorry. I think I got the skin by accident. Let's zoom in. Yep, I got the skin a little bit. So let's go like that and hit delete. And now I have it getting all cleaned up on the head part. Same thing with the torso. Delete. Definitely going to be getting rid of this part. Delete. And then I'm going to go over here and delete this part because as you can tell, this skin color is way darker than his forehead skin color, which would be his normal skin color. Since the sun hits that in-game, that's the most natural skin color he's going to have. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to use my eraser tool, probably set it to 250. Let's actually make it 200, and I'm going to start erasing it. If you want a more fluffier brush, you can go ahead and lower your hardness to 0. So you want to keep some of the keep some of the hairline, so looks like it's blended into the skin. You can do that. I'm going to lose some of the beard, but that's fine by me right now. I come over here, and I'm going to do the same thing for the bottom part down here. Just going to go ahead and erase this because there's going to be a big old seam line if I don't do that. And it's probably going to be like about this far out. Erase, erase, erase. Go over here, same exact process. Erase, erase, erase. Now, as you probably noticed, the skin color is not the same, but that's something we're going to change later on. So just keep going, delete, delete, delete. I'm doing this as a rush job, so you can be more careful as you do yours. It's a lot easier when they don't have a beard, but we're going to try to save whatever beard we can get from him, and then maybe delete. Then not do that. Let's go ahead and increase my hardness. Then go like this. Increase my brush to, let's say, 300, and then give this guy. Cause that doesn't look like hair; it looks like skinish kind of thing. And I have a blend. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my color selector, select his forehead, go to my skin, double tap it, click on it, hit my color replace, set it to 2000, then set my hardness to 100 and set my tolerance to 75. I want the rest of the skin to look like his skin up there. I'm going to select the brightest part right here, and I'm going to go ahead and do this. I just hold and I drag, and it'll change everything with a color similar into that. So I now have my skin color. Now you can go ahead and use your hue if you really want to, change it up a bit. Maybe you don't like how it came out, so you want to lighten it. Or, take away saturation, darken it, lighten it, do whatever you want. Change its hue to maybe make it redder, make him do the Hulk for all I care, because he goes angry mode. Who knows? Alright, you have that all set up. You like what you have. I personally don't like how this one came out. I did do it earlier, and this is what I came up with. I'm going to do Control A, do Control C. I'm going to go over to this one. I'm going to hit Control. Actually, this skin color is not bad with this skin. I'm going to hit Control V. So that's the skin I want it to be. Now, a trick here you can do is you can. Actually, I want to go back to the other one. I'm going to duplicate this and then put my new skin on top of it. So, you can duplicate this, and then you can see how it looks like when you minimize it, because you want it to have as much native skin as possible. So if I go over here and I go over to its opacity, I can see like this how it looks like without it. Full blast, I go 125. It's an even number, but you might get a blend of it, but you lose his scalp and all that. So a good way to save that information is to go ahead and build around it. So I hit plus. I'm going to grab I'll keep his skin color whatever it was, and I'm just going to go ahead and color in around his scalp and his hairs. And then I can go up here, and I can go one below it, make a new tab, and hit Control A and hit backspace to fill it all in. So it's easier for me to edit as I go. So I like what I see, and I'm going to go ahead and do the same exact thing for his face. But I'm going to lower it from 2000 to maybe 250 and change my hardness to probably that. Get between the eyes, get around the eyebrows, whatever you want to save. I'm doing a real rough draft of this, so I would recommend you take your time, get as much detail as you can without erasing or covering up anything. If you make a mistake, you can always erase too. Like see, I covered some of the eyebrow out there. Now it's saved it by doing that. Sometimes you might need to use the blend tool to get those parts that are kind of inside of the mustache and beard. Scalp for sure, you want to protect as much of those individual layers as you can. I mean, hairs. Just add more detail to the character. Just keep going, keep going. And then get rid of the obvious stuff. And in this case, you might start being able to increase the brush size to like 350, and then just cover it up what you can. You want it all to be one uniform color, because we're going to delete this uniform color soon to isolate only the hairs. Over here as well, let's go back to 250. Definitely going to have some over here, so 350 again. Maybe even go 500. So get the blend in, and get more blend. It looks too fudge. Control Z. Looks too sharp. Alright, so let's say this is pretty close to what I want, but I have a bunch of skin on top. I can still paint over that. Make it 50. Alright, now I'm ready to go. So, what I can do is do Control Shift F to flatten everything, Control A, then Control C to copy, Control Z to undo, and undo it again so you don't have to flatten. Make a new texture, hit OK, hit Control V to paste what your new thing is, hit Control Shift G to grayscale, Control Shift L will give you an automatic leveling. We don't like it, so hit Control Z, hit Control L to manually edit the level adjustment. See how I did auto? That didn't work, so I go to reset. I'm going to manually do it by lowering this. I want to keep as much detail as possible while getting rid of the skin color, but making it still white. So like right there. Then I can go ahead and edit it some more. Maybe I don't like that blend. Make a new layer. Switch to white. Then I go over to paint. When I lower this by like, let's say 250 again. And I fill in the parts I don't like, because that shadow I don't want to be where the actual eye is, eyebrow. Alright, so I like what I see, right? And I hit Control Shift hit Control Z, I didn't flatten it. Control Shift F to flatten, then Control Shift I, and now you have a mask. So you will have a better mask because you're going to do it more cleaner. But you might get like something this bad right here. See this skin? Again, same progress, just go ahead and make a new tab and clean it up. It's always easier to see when you do inverts. It gives you, easier on the eyes. You can more tell stuff apart. Nothing wrong with that. And then I go like that. And then I want to make my thing at 50 and go around here. I know the hair doesn't go all the way up there. Alright. So, now I get Control A, Control C, and I go back to my character thing, and I hide the skin, hide this, the one below it, so now we're back to what we had before. I unhide that new copy of the character I made, of the face, and I go over to my effects. You may not have this, but it's called Alpha Mask. It's a plugin, you can download it. And it will take whatever you copied from your clipboard and mix it into the character, but I didn't actually copy it. So Control A, Control C, then go over here, select the character, and go to Effects, Alpha Mask. Alright. You don't see it actually happening because I forgot to hide the bottom one down here. But in reality, this one looks like this now. So I'll show you again what happened. I'm going to delete this, duplicate this, bring it to the top, unhide it, go to Effects, Alpha Mask. It applies itself. I hit OK. So what I did is I hid all the skin, but I kept all the hair, the detail. Now, if I make a copy of this guy again, and I put it underneath it, unhide it, and I lower it, you can see that I can blend in the skin texture to make it more believable as to who it is, while keeping the hair. 125. So I go with 125, and now I have my character skin. And it looks way better than what it does at full blast. If you really want to, you can, increase it some more. And I just like it being Let's go with 175. Keeps its skin tone and all that. You're gonna have little mistakes over here too. You can fix that easily. Just go over to clone. Go on this side. You can go control and select. Then go over here and just paint it in. Don't go too far. Keep an eye on your tracer to the left and right. Go again, control, and just keep filling in the blanks till it looks natural. Not going to be perfect, but it's going to look better than what it was before. Control again, and then, just got to reset it every so often. Alright, so that looks better. Same thing with the mouth. Now this time you're going to want to close up this gap right here. Very noticeable. I use clone again. I lower my brush to like 15 because it's small. I control on top and I start brushing away. I just follow it, reset it, and I follow it. Same thing over here. Up here, brush it away, reset it, and I just follow it out. Reset it, follow it up. Alright, so we fixed those air shoes, and then you can just paint in this part. Grab a color of like the skin that you think would be natural, then put a new layer on top. Brush, let's say 25. No, let's go 50. Increase the thing to like 50, and just start painting. But you want it to be natural, otherwise it might pop up when the mouth opens up when it's talking. So this is obviously too red, but that's not going to stop me. Just fill in what I can, and I'll fix it soon. Alright, then you can easily just edit the hue. That looks believable. Alright. So, looks better already. Once you're set and ready to go, you just hit Control-Shift-F to flatten it. Then I would recommend you save this flattened version as a backup, like Michael Crespo Quad. Then you go ahead and go Control-Shift-R to make it smaller again. Make sure you hit Maintain Aspect Ratio, replace that with 4096. Make sure you got the anchor, and then you would do Control-Shift-S, and you'd save it as JPEG is less memory, but it has more blending of the texture, so I'd recommend PNG. And I'll just save it as head, and then you'd save. But I've already done that, so go ahead and do Control-Z after you save it. Control-Shift-R, 4096 again. Change the anchor point to the top. Control-Shift-S to save it. Name it as torso.png. Then hit Control-Z, Control-Shift-R, 4096, and you repeat the process. Control-Shift-S, arms, Control-Z, Control-Shift-R, 4096, and finally we have our legs. Then type in legs. Once you have all that done, now we need to go ahead and make our extra detail files. And if you recall, I did say you're going to need to go ahead and grab those detail textures from the work folder right here. So this is what I do. I grab one of each. I grab this one, I open it up, I go with that, and then I do the same exact thing for the rest of them, which will take me a little bit of a while because I have to grab them all individually. And then go ahead and save it again in your work folder so you have complete access to it at all times. I like to make a clean version so you have a backup for future projects in case you want to work on more. So like the torsos are clean, you don't need to change anything, but these things have built-in eyebrows on the faces. Same thing, use the clone tool, 250, control, drop, and clone. I always have it at 0 so it blends in nicely. Same thing. And clone. You're good. This one's done. Do the eyebrows. I'm in this one now. Same scenario. You're covering up this. You can do it probably better than what I'm doing right now because I'm doing it quickly. Alright, now I'm ready to go ahead and put on my thing. So I have my thing, Control Shift R, 4096, same thing as last time, but now we're going to focus on the head, Control A, Control C to save. Now this is the bright one, this is the dark one, this is the bright one, this is the dark one. I call this one B, I call this one G. B, G, B, G. I go to B, I add, Control Paste, V for paste, same thing over here, add, Control V to paste, but I'm going to go ahead and double select this and hit multiply. This one I'm going to go ahead and double select it and hit additive. I'm now going to go back to this one and invert this with Control Shift I. And now I have my two detail photos. So this will be head B, this would be head G. Same thing with the torso. Control Z, Control Z, Control Shift R, 4096. Hit the top right corner, hit OK. Okay, Control A, Control C, go to torso, new layer, Control V, and then new layer, Control V. This one, you're going to have to hit multiply because it's the G one. This one was B, so it's going to be additive. Go back to G and do Control Shift I. Now I have my my detail for head B, head G, torso B, torso G. Save it as those names in the same work folder you've made. Then you're going to go ahead and create your own folder inside the runtime textures for DAZ underneath your name. Like mine would be Monkey Rebel 117 slash, and then it would be a new folder, Halo, new folder, Michael Crosley. And then I put all my textures in there and my detail textures. And I will now show you how I set that up in DAZ. Alright, in this section of the video, I'm going to go ahead and show you how I actually set up the material with the brand new textures that were just made for the specific character that you're using. So I am making Mickey right now from Halo 3 ODST. So I have right now loaded up a Genesee Basic Male. This is what it looks like with its generic texture. It looks like this. Tan, right? So I can get rid of that tanness if you put in a custom texture so that you can see how the skin looks without that added tan. All I do is grab head on surfaces for Genesee Male all the way to neck with shift, let go. Well, my bad. Surfaces, not shaping. Male, surfaces. Grab torso, arms, go down to translucency weight and set this to 0. Now it will show me the character without a tan. That's what he looks like. So now it will show you what the actual base texture it is that he's wearing. Then I go to Genesee Male. I will then select arms and fingernails. Select the thing I have, go to browse, and it's going to take you to the actual directory for the official Genesee 8 Male material. I actually have my library as a favorite. I go to runtime, I go to textures, I go to Monkey Rebel 117. I can find myself. Then I go down to Halo, and I go down to, I've created a folder here called, I think his name is Michael Crespo. And then in this folder I have copied over my brand new textures. So I'm going to go ahead and copy the directory name, and I'm going to go ahead and select arms because that's what I have selected. It's going to replace the arms. It does it in real time too. Then I select eyes, ears, eye socket, face, and lips. Go to the face, click browse, copy V. Control V to paste. Click on head, and I have additional textures to put in, but I want to show you the difference afterwards. Legs and toenails. Select the base, Control V to paste. I go to legs. I go down to torso, same exact scenario. This one also I have detail, Control V that I have added. And there, I have my texture. So let's go ahead and take a look at the face real fast in iRay. So notice how his head's kind of shiny. It's catching the light and reflecting it as if it's skin. That additional... Oh, he's got blue eyes for some reason. I gotta fix that. Oh wait, I didn't replace the eyes. Duh. Don't forget to replace the eyes too. So, Sakara, whatever, pupils and irises. I'm gonna do Control V since I have an eye set already. G8M brown. And now he's ready to be tested. but you see the light still scatters on top of his head where the hair and his beard is. I don't want that. So I go G8M male. I go down to ears, eye socket, face, lips again. I go down to this dark one right here. Go over here, control paste again. I have mine set for head G. I just call it G for gray. The brighter one is right here for base bump. Browse. I didn't know it was called that. I just called it B because it was bright. And then I go down to the next one. And I go control V again and head G. Now my head is complete. But I got to do the torso because the head texture in reality is only the face part right here. The back of his skull is part of his texture, part of his torso. So I go down to the dark one right here, browse, control V, torso G, the base bump, browse, control V, torso V, and then finally the glossary layer, weights, control V, and G. Then let's go ahead and test it again. And bam, now his head and scalp and his beard, his eyebrows are no longer reflective, and it looks a little bit better. So now your character is ready to be saved, so you can use this material at a later time. To do that, you just gotta make sure G8 male is selected, or female, whatever you're doing it on. Go to save as, go to material, and in material you select in the folder I have made in under G8 male, characters, Monkey Rebel 117, Halo, and Michael Crespo. That's this folder. I'm going to find all this stuff now. I made a file called Michael Crespo Skin. All you gotta do is fill it on right here in the bottom, and it will save it. I'm going to hit save. I'm going to say this file already exists. Would you like to replace it? Yes. Select everything that you want, and then hit accept. I already saved it, so I'm not going to do that. But you would hit accept, and it would create the file. Then you're ready to actually, start dressing them up or posing them as you wish. So for me, I would go down to characters. Monkey Rebel, Halo, Michael Crespo, and I'll see that his head, I already did these head and removes individually, but his skin's here, and that's what's important. I go to ODST, go to Halo 3, base, I include his body, chest badge, chest, gear, gloves, helmet, shoulder left, I believe. Nope, shoulder right. He has a dedicated shoulder left in his gear. Then I go down to G8 male again. I go to Mickey, gear, helmet, and then I select all of it along with the helmet and his attachment. Then I go down to my materials and I choose the Mickey base set. And I guess I got a helmet right here too, and Mickey shoulder. I will combine those to make into one material so it can just be selected and go. Now this is what he looks like. Alright, there you go. I got Mickey set up, and then you can hide his helmet. And now you see how it looks like without it. Or, of course, you can do it the other way, where you go to his visor, and you lower that through opacity. So you can do that, or 0.5, so it looks like it's just dimmed. Whatever you want to do. 0.15 works too, I guess. And then turn it back up. Alright, hopefully that helped you. Goodbye and good luck.